Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing 101 for Chiropractors. I'm Dr. Enrico and special guest today, Mr. Clay Mosely from Texas. He does webs and everything net stuff that you need to do. He's from Dripify and he actually runs our website at Full Life Chiropractic. So if you need to go to fulllifetampa.com and check out some of his work, he's got great stuff. Take a look at it. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I
Of
love
course, yeah.
being on this kind of stuff, man. It's just like talk shop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been following you and I see a lot of the SEO talk, and I was like, this is perfect for this week's topic about SEO because there's a real misunderstanding about what SEO. People don't even know what SEO is. Let's just be straightforward,
Yep.
especially chiropractors and doctors and people that are doing service provider work. I mean, they don't have time to figure this stuff out. But SEO. What's the biggest thing if you had to define what it is? What do you say SEO is?
It's showing up on Google. Like, I mean, that's pretty much
the result.
That's the short answer. Yeah.
Short answer. I love it. When I'm coaching, I'm telling people your SEO is how your personality is in your personal life. That's what your SEO is defined as in your business, because your business doesn't have a personality. It has metrics. Mm-hmm. So your SEO is how you show up. Your personality shows up online. That's what SEO really is. So you really have to build that personality in your brand. Oh boy, I'm going to get off topic. We're going to be here for 2 hours. But anyways, let's go through that. That's how I define SEO is like, how you rank. I mean, you're trying to get to number one, but there's lots of competition out there. And the way to be number one is not just being the loudest, but being the most strategic with what you're doing with your time.
Yeah. I want to if you don't mind, I want to let's define what number one is, right?
Right.
Because everybody wants to be number one on the first page, the very first at the top, right? But like what does that mean? Because there's so many ways to do that. A lot of people don't realize that with search, the default thing. So we're talking about chiropractors here, right? Is everybody wants to rank for chiropractor in Austin, Texas, or chiropractor in whatever city they're in, right? Which is great. Like, I love that. The issue I have with that is a couple of issues. One is it's super competitive. Everybody in town is going after that key phrase, right? Like, everybody wants to go after the people that are searching for a chiropractor because they're ready to buy right now. What they don't know, or maybe not realize, is that that's only like 5% of your target audience, like who are actually actively looking to buy. Like, people who search chiropractor near me or whatever, like that's like the 5% of the market that's actively looking to buy. But what you're doing is you're ignoring the other 90 to 95% of the audience who could fit as an ideal client. They're just not actively looking. And search with SEO, a lot of people don't realize that there's a pipeline to that. It's not just trying to rank for people who are actively looking for a chiropractor to buy right now. The other 95% are the people looking for answers, right? They're looking for answers to questions. They're looking for information. Like, that's the beginning of the pipeline that people are ignoring, that you could easily rank for. And so there's three different search intents with SEO. The first one, just starting at the beginning of the pipeline, is information intent, right? It's like someone is looking for just information straight up. That's it. So a perfect example of this is, like, let's just say somebody suffers from headaches, right? But they're not sure if it's a headache or if it's a migraine. So maybe they're searching, what is the difference between a headache and a migraine, right? That is just straight up information. And so, like, there's lots of ways to rank for those types of questions, where if you can rank for those key phrases, you're going to get someone on your website, and therefore you can pixel them, right, for retargeting and things like that. So like, that's the first one. The second phase is people have gone past the information intent. They've now, in this example, realized, okay, I think it's probably a migraine, right, that I'm suffering. Now I want to look for solutions, like DIY solutions, right? Things I can do at home. So instead of what's the difference between a headache and migraine, they're now searching for home remedies for migraines, right? Maybe that's the key phrase, and there's tons of them, right? But that's now they're looking for a solution, but that they can do themselves, right? So that's the second stage of search intent. And then the last stage is what everybody is trying to go for, is chiropractor near me, or chiropractor for migraines, or whatever, right? That's a buy intent. And so people only, 99% of chiropractors go after the third one, and they ignore the first two. And so there's a way to get tons and tons and tons of web traffic if you can also focus on the first two stages of the search intent. So that's kind of 30,000 foot view of how search is supposed to, SEO is supposed to work.
Yeah. And you commented last year, I mean, about and kind of pre-framed what my website was doing. And you're like, listen, man, whatever Enrico's doing, listen to him. He's getting some of the best traffic I've seen. Like, your forms are getting filled out. Yeah. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh geez, I just thought this is what a website was supposed to do. But then as I dissected that, I'm like, well, how come? It's really everything you said. It's that funneling and that creation of everything that we do, but from our social media to the community. Chiropractor near me is a great target word on Google, but chiropractor near me means that they know who you are in your community. I mean, that it starts from homegrown and then roots out. That's how because we're brick and mortar. There's no other way to do chiropractic. It's just either people have to come to you, or you've got a mobile van and you go to them. But either way, it's a service provided. So I found that interesting, and that's our SEO. I'm not saying I'm the king of SEO. I'm just saying that I think we have a base understanding of what's going on here, and it just takes time to grow, right?
It does. Well, it does take time to grow. I will say this though. There are ways to get quote unquote instant traffic. It's like it's choosing what I call the golden keywords. There's a way to do keyword research, because SEO, like, it all roots from the keyword research. Like, everybody tries to, like, this is the biggest issue I have with SEO, hiring an SEO agency, is the SEO agency might ask you, the client, for certain key phrases. And I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, you pay them to do this. So like, and even then, even if an SEO agency is saying, okay, we'll do the keyword research, a lot of them, and I know this just from being in the marketing world, right? They don't even do the proper keyword research. They just think in their head, this might be a good phrase, right? And so, but there are ways to get instant traffic. So what you said is correct. It is a long-term game, but at the same time, there are key phrases that you can get where you can instantly get traffic. So these golden key phrases, if you do the right research, if you a tool that I like to use, it is a premium tool. It's ahrefs.com. It's ahrefs.com. You can do keyword research with this tool. There's other tools available, but what this website does that I really like is you can put in a key phrase, and it tells you two things. It tells you the volume. It tells you a lot of things, but these are the two main things I look at. It tells you the volume, the monthly volume search, and it also tells you the keyword, the difficulty to rank out of 100, right? So like, the sweet spots are if you can find a decent amount of traffic, but the difficulty lies around 35 or below, 35 out of 100 or below. That is a golden keyword, in my opinion. So, but it all relates to, like, some people ask, what if it's like, like 45 out of 100? Like, you could still rank for that. It could be difficult, but you got to compare it to the volume. So if like a 45 out of 100 only has like 10 searches a month, not worth the effort. But if 45 out of 100 has 500 searches, then that might be worth the effort, right? So it's all relative. Like, the difficulty to compared to the volume, it's all relative. Like, is it worth doing? It's almost like eating a cupcake, right? It's like, let me eat this cupcake, and then if it's good, like, oh yeah, that was worth the calories, right? But like, you try it and you're like, damn, this cupcake's not that great. It's not worth eating because it's not worth the calories, right?
Right.
And so you got to compare like the flavor versus the calories. Like, that's kind of how you find these keywords. I mean, there's a lot of keywords that only get 10 searches a month. And a lot of people by default will probably ignore that. But if it is only like a 7 out of 100 or something in the single digits, you could write one really good optimized blog article and rank for that topic. And you could rank for all 10 key phrases or all 10 searches, right? It's not a whole lot of volume, but that's 10 people that you didn't have before that you easily got by writing one blog article. So
Very
it's all
cool.
about like the keyword research, you know?
How cool is that? I mean, one question I get a lot is like, what should I write about? Well, now I'm glad we did this. I mean, this is fantastic. Let's do the data first and reverse engineer this and be like, wow, look at this niche that's not even being tapped into. Let's be the experts of that. How to tie your shoelaces. That's great.
I mean,
use your back, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, I'm working on a niche website. It's about like just like board games, card games, things like that. Just like a bunch of nerd stuff. I haven't launched yet. I'm doing all the keyword research and all the article writing and stuff. But like, according to my data, like I have 5 articles that have already been written that I'm based off this whole keyword, like golden keyword nugget, like based off these 5 articles, I'm expecting somewhere around 5,000 monthly searches that I'm going to be able to rank for because the difficulty was not high at all. So
Cool.
this is what I mean by instant traffic, you know?
Right. Great way for people to start off to build traffic.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's great. So that's fantastic. And it's really, a complete system. The SEO it's got to be a machine. It's not just this write a couple of blogs and then rank some keywords. I mean, we want to create a system around this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Creating a system is, this is kind of my shtick these days. It's like, you got to have a full marketing system, like a lot of people treat marketing like I compare it to a car. So like, I don't know a ton about cars, but I do know it's a bunch of different parts put together, communicating together in order for you to drive the car, right? But a lot of people treat their marketing like they have a garage full of car parts strung out all over the floor. They're all good parts, but they pick one part up at a time. They try it and they think, well, I wasn't able to drive out of the garage with this one part. This part's bad. So let me put it back down and try this other part. This is why and they rinse and repeat. It's like Facebook ads didn't work. Well, shit.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me try SEO. That didn't work. Like, and that's the way they do it. And it's like, no, you gotta design your marketing system to be built like a car where one communicates with the other and it works with the other. Like a really simple example is what I've already mentioned is with SEO, if you focus, not focus, but if you put focus on all 3 search intents, like, so the first 2 intents, those people aren't ready to buy right now. They will, but not right now. But what's really cool is if you rank for those key phrases, and you can rank really easily by finding a gold keyword, and you get them to go to your website and they're just seeking information. It's like, boom, now you've got them pixeled, and now you can run a retargeting ad in their social media feed over and over and over and over again, right? That's a very simple idea of how a whole marketing system works. It's like SEO is now working with Facebook ads, right? It's like, that's how that works. And then you throw in a website. Okay, now like I have a landing page that's designed to convert, things like that. It's just a whole bunch of different working parts.
Perfect. And that's how we set up all of our new clients is like, we got traffic is going to build up on your Facebook ad, but we're building viewership on that. And then we're going to retarget this.
Yep.
That's where once we get that rolling, they're like, whoa, this is a great month. What was the difference? I'm like, there was no difference. This was a strategy. It just took us 30 days to get there because we needed to build up some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. I love that. What else you got for us? What else for SEO? Push versus pull. I think that's a cool concept.
Yeah, push versus pull. So a lot of people, I especially see this in chiropractic, is they will get somebody as a lead on their list somehow, whether it's text, SMS, or email, whatever. And then they will constantly push them to book an appointment, right? It's almost like the pushy car salesman, where it's like, hey, you're on my list. Hey, book an appointment, right? It's like that's pushing someone towards trying to become a client or a patient, right? So that's pushing. I think like now the best way to do marketing is a pull marketing. So what that means is instead of pushing them to book an appointment, what you do is you try to help them with their problem as much as you can without saying, hey, book an appointment. And so an example is like, let's just say migraines, since we already used that example. Let's just say I do have migraines and I download something on your website. It has to do with like, hey, here's a full migraine guide, right, on how you can do this from home. So the push, as far as an email drip, could be, hey, so you download my my free migraine guide. Why don't you book an appointment, right? And then it's like that over and over again. Instead, what the email drip could do is a pull method, which is, hey, I saw you download the email guide. By the way, here's another thing that could help you with this migraine issue, like essential oils, for example, right? Here's a special mix or whatever blend that can help you. And then another drip happens and says, oh, by the way, I actually mix this for you. If you don't have access, like come by the office, I will give it to you for free. No, and say like no sales, just come in and pick it up, right? And then the next one is, hey, I'm not sure if you like, yes, maybe you picked up the blend or whatever, but maybe you just need more of a conversation about this. No sales again, but I'm happy to like just ask me a question over text, like just whatever, it's showing them it's just basically helping people as much as possible.
Yeah.
And showing them what, like, subconsciously what it looks like to work with you without you being pushy about pushing a sale.
Never
That's
once did
cool.
you say book an appointment.
Yeah.
This is a huge. I don't think people understand how big this is, and you're way over their head because the concept makes 100% sense, but no one's willing to build that nurturing list to do that. I'm not saying no one. They will. They just want somebody to do it for you. But listen, Clay can't sit there in Austin and do this for you 100%. He can give you a guideline. He can do some stuff, but to sit there and create the emails, this is time that only you can do. Remember, this is a different industry. We are brick and mortar service providers. We're not corporate selling product, flashlights online. We're not doing that stuff where we can just auto template a whole email list and just go, hey, this is the greatest and latest, buy it. Two different concepts when it comes to that. This is huge, man. That was awesome. I think that just made the podcast right there.
To add to that, and I will tell the difference. In there's two big differences. If you do a pull versus push. If you do a pull, they come to you, right? You do not have to, like, really, in general, you won't have to actually like close them. They will just say, how do I give you my money, right? It's completely inbound. The second thing is, if you pull versus push, is retention is super high. They will stick around for a lot longer.
They made the decision to come see you. You didn't sell them.
Yeah. And when retention's high, and that's where the money's made. It's not 100%. Getting new patients. It's 100%. How long can you keep them?
Yes.
Like that's the difference between making some money and making a crap ton of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for Cairo's listening, your wellness patients versus your new acquisitions, you go add it up right now. Tell me what you did in 2022, and I'll show you that it's so much easier to build the wellness base than it is to try and acquire new people. And a referral is worth way more than anything you could possibly buy. So that's fantastic. I love that. We're going to start pulling in 2023. I like that. And then what else do you got? You got a third tip for us? I mean, these things don't come overnight, right?
Yeah. What was the third one that I
delayed gratification?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good one. All right. So everybody wants new business right now. Right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing though, like delayed gratification. So like in marketing, yes, sure. Like I think by default, us as human beings, like, because short attention span, like we want quick gratification. Like it just feels good. It's almost like a freaking dopamine hit. You know what I mean? But like in marketing and sales and business, like I personally, if you look at the numbers, if you look at your numbers, and if you don't know your numbers, you need to know these numbers, okay? So when I say you, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about listeners, right?
Yeah, you.
So I look at my most ideal clients, and I look at the numbers behind that. So when I say ideal, I'm talking about the people I love to work with, the ones that, and they're with me for a long time, and they are the most profitable for me. All three of those things exist. I look to see how long they've been in my pipeline versus the ones that don't stick with me for a while, or, you know, the ones that quit after a little bit, you know, like the ones I really don't like to work with, but I tolerate them. But my ideal clients, on average, are in my pipeline for 18 months.
It's great.
So, and I've started looking at this. I've started collecting this data even with my own clients, like people that I coach. And I'm like, hey, like, tell me what these numbers are, because I want to know. Like, think about your most ideal patients. And I think about with chiropractic, like everybody has those patients that they finished out a care plan, they're on wellness, they brought in their entire family, they refer the crap out of you. Like, those are the ones that you want, right? and I always ask, how long have they been with you, right? And the way they answer this question is, well, they started care on this day. Like, no, that's not what I want to know. I want to know, how long did they follow you before they decided to pull the trigger to actually pay you?
Right.
That right there is a key metric, because for me, it's 18 months. So what this tells you, it tells you a lot. But the biggest thing for me is who you're going to target for new acquisition. So I think about my ideal client, and I think about, where were they? What did they look like 18 months ago? And that is the type of person I want to target.
I love that.
Not who they are now. It's who they were 18 months ago. You know, like, that is who I want to target, because I know that my ideal client is going to be in my pipeline for 18 months on average. So
Perfect.
that is like delayed gratification. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. And chiros are, listening, thinking about all this, like, man, how do I do all this? You don't need to do all this. You just need to set up the groundwork for this. There is a little bit of work behind it, and you should always be updating as things change. You don't want to be sending an email from 2018 talking about, getting together for concerts and stuff when people are really humming and haw about that. But you want to update that stuff. But once you have the systems in place, this stuff isn't that hard. It isn't that hard. I practiced from 2008 to 2016 doing none of this stuff, referral-based screenings out in the community. Came down here, and this all fell in my lap when a chiropractor told me, hey, no, that's not the agreement we agreed on. You got to get your own patients. I was like, you mother effer. Okay. So what? Facebook, went to Facebook, and then the whole people know the story. But these systems are not just, you can do the push. You can push. Just book an appointment. You can build a practice that way, but the pull is going to have a higher conversion ratio, a higher cost per visit average, a higher case value, a higher, all the things that make a business profitable. So you're not always burning through marketing. So people are attracted to this. Hire me as a coach, thinking that and you too, I'm going to get a new website, I'm going to get a bunch of new patients. It does not work that way. But somebody like you and somebody like me are going to walk you through the process so that you do get new patients the right way. So that's cool. How can people find you? How can they ask you questions? What's your website?
Best place to find me is my website, getdripify.com. Everything's there. I got a bunch of free stuff that people can download. If you go to getdripify.com/group, then you can join my free community there. That's probably the best place.
Yeah, best place. He's got a text thing. He's got a text system. He's got an email system. I love being part of these types of things because you can see what people are doing and how you should maybe emulate your practice with that too. Clay, thanks, man. This was super cool. Thanks for everything you do for me. And you guys, if you have any questions, this guy, I mean, he's there for you. Give him 24 hours to get back to you. He's a busy guy, but he'll get back to you. And And if you have any questions, he's part of the group. Remember, I told you I got a couple flies on the wall in this group. He's one of them. He's quiet. He's there. He's there to answer any questions you have. So just tag Clay and he'll be right in there. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah.